Hello students, welcome to Standard 11, Lesson 4, Kingdom Animalia. Phylum Platyhelminthus. Now here what is the meaning of Platyhelminthus? Platy means flat and helminth means worm. So these organisms, they are also called as flat worms. Now what are the examples of this phylum? The first example here you can see tapeworm. This tapeworm, this organism is very flat segmented worm which live in the intestine of some animal. Means it is endoparasite. Planaria, it is free living flatworm which lives in fresh water. And fasciola, which is also called as liver fluke. These organisms, they are basically parasites, endoparasites, and they live in the liver of various mammal including human being. Phylum Platyhelminthus. Now there are many characteristics of this phylum, but how to remember all the characteristics? Here is a short trick with the help of which you can remember most of the characteristic. Let us see what is the sentence for the short trick. I hope for Tab to play football. I will repeat. I hope for Tab to play football. Now this is one of the interesting sentence with the help of which you can remember most of the characteristic of this phylum, that is Platyhelminthus. Let us see. I stand for internal fertilization and I stand for indirect development. Now what do you mean by internal fertilization? The fertilization which takes place inside the body of organism is called as internal fertilization. Male gamete and female gamete fertilization takes place inside the body. Such fertilization is internal fertilization. Now what do you mean by indirect development? The development which takes place indirectly. Now what do you mean by indirect development? Let us see the example. In case of frog, the frog give rise to egg, egg hatches into larva, larva converts into tiny frog and tiny frog later on develops into mature frog. So in the life cycle of the frog, there are different stages or phases. Okay, such type of development in which many stages are there. Such development is called as indirect development. Now let us study the next letter, and the next letter is H. H stands for hooks and suckers. Now why hooks and suckers are present in this particular living organism? As I told, mostly these organisms are endoparasites. So endoparasite, they have to live inside the body of other living organism. With the help of hook, they gets attached to the body, inside the body, and with the help of suckers, they absorb or suck the food. O stand for organ level of organization. Means what? Now we know that the cells come together to form tissue and tissue come together to form organ. This is the phylum where different tissues come together to form organ, and this organ, they perform different function because there are different organs. E stand for endoparasite. As I told, endo means inside and parasite means it require the food, ready-made food. So mostly these organisms, they live inside the body of other living organism. F stand for flame cells. These flame cells are the excretory organ in this organism. T stand for triploblastic. Triploblastic means there are 3 germ layers: ectoderm, mesoderm and endoderm. Okay, so there are 3 germ layer in these organisms. Now A stand for acoelomate. Coelom means cavity and A means absent. So acoelomate means body cavity is absent. B stand for bilateral symmetry. Now what do you mean by bilateral symmetry? If you cut this organism in this way, in vertical way, it will divide the organism into 2 equal parts. So such type of symmetry is called as bilateral symmetry. Now let us study the examples TPE. T stand for Taenia, that is tapeworm. P stand for Planaria and F stand for Fasciola hepatica, which is also called as liver fluke.